Hey everybody, good morning. I have with me today Alice Currie, and she is a naturopath doctor and the owner of Health Essentials Wellness Center in Cleveland, Texas. Good morning, Alice. How you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
So, been to your store and it's awesome. And I took a couple of pictures when I was there, and I'm going to insert some probably over one of your shoulders
Okay.
at one point or another during the podcast here. But I find, and I did a whole lot of research yesterday. I took some time off and just sat down and started looking everything up about holistic medicine and the whole. And I was really intrigued by everything that I read because it's an unusual combination of Western medicine, Eastern medicine, and just a different view of how people are healed.
Right.
So let's talk about that a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
I know that holistic medicine looks at the person as a whole,
Right.
and instead of treating symptoms, you actually try to get to the root cause and
Right.
fix stuff.
Yeah.
What a concept. Maybe the Western medical community needs to hear a little bit more about that.
I know.
So what do you got on that? I mean,
So it makes a world of difference. A lot of people come in and they take all different kinds of vitamins and minerals and medicines, and they take what they think is good for their body, but they don't look at it in a whole, as a whole. They just take whatever it is. And when I speak with somebody, I interview them or do a consultation, I try to have them bring in all of their, whatever it is they feel is important for their health to take. And then I do a modality that's called muscle response testing. And that helps to figure out which of their products their body likes. And if you take what your body likes, your body can use it to help it heal itself.
well, that's cool. Muscle response testing. I've never heard of that before. So how does that work?
Right. So our bodies are energy. That's the way God created us. And we use herbs. They all have energy.
Right.
Okay. So you put it together and your body either likes it or it doesn't. So I go through a process of elimination, of finding what they have that their body likes and what it doesn't. And I sort it out. And then we go throughout the store and we pick out products that their body likes and we combine it. So when I check out the whole body, I can tell them which works the best. And then we put a program together, and that is a way to start to heal the body.
Oh, that's cool. So does that also include like a program of diet and exercise as well with the supplements too?
Right. And it's not all about taking vitamins by
Okay.
any means. It's about your lifestyle. And usually everything that we deal with in life has to do with the gut. So if you can begin to heal the gut,
Right.
then the body can begin to heal. And the way the body heals is from the inside out, top to bottom. So when you look at somebody's fingernails, that's the distal point. So that's
Okay.
one of the last places that heals. So you think about the way it goes into your body, works through your body receives it. If your body is like, one thing that helps is your pH level. If your pH levels are proper, then your body can use the minerals and the vitamins that you give it. If it's not, we need to work on that.
Right. Yeah, I was reading some research, and actually I found that and I don't remember exactly where it came from, but they said that if your pH levels were off and your body wasn't alkaline enough, that diseases and problems live in an acidic environment.
Right.
And so you got to make sure that your pH is good. And you don't hear that out of Western medicine, and I'm really kind of surprised because it makes sense. I mean, it's like that with water and everything else. You've got to have a neutral pH or you got problems to start out with. And it only seems fair that it would be that way with the human body as well.
Right. So once again, when I check with people or work with them, we've started more and more talking about the pH because if your pH is more acidic, then your body processes things fast. So a lot of times when people have like diarrhea issues or they don't absorb their food, they lose weight even though they eat, it may be that their pH is very acidic. So everything goes in fast and they don't benefit from what they eat. So
Wow,
that's important.
okay.
So if you go the other way, you're very alkaline, everything runs slow. In everything with life, there is a balance.
Sure.
So
Makes
pH
sense.
is a perfect example. And the pH of your blood comes from when you check your urine. And the pH from your lymph system, which is part of your immune system, comes from when you check the pH in the saliva.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Two different sources.
And that makes sense. And it's interesting because I read a big study that was done by the Pacific College of Medicine on the ionic foot baths that you guys do. And it tends to straighten out a person's pH through repeated use of the ionic foot baths. So I was surprised at that too. I was like, wow, that's really cool. And I was glad that I got a chance to do this podcast because I hadn't really looked into holistic medicine before. Right. But it just seems the way to go.
It really is.
And the problem that I have with Western medicine now is that the last time that I heard of a cure, I think I was an infant. And they don't cure anything anymore. Nowadays, they just treat symptoms. And by treating symptoms, you're always going to have side effects and other symptoms, so you're just making a bad situation worse.
Right. And then when you get on antibiotics, it kills all the good and the bad bacteria. Killing the bad is good. That's a good thing. But when they kill the good, also, it turns into a cycle. So you get on antibiotics, you get feeling better from bronchitis, pneumonia, whatever it happens to be. But it becomes a cycle because your body's lost the good bacteria to help your immune system to become stronger. So it's a cycle. And when they start giving you medications, your body does what the medication says to do. It's chemicals. So it does what it says to do, and then, this is my opinion, it's like the body starts screaming, hey, that's not right. I don't like that. That's not part of me. So then you have side effects. You go back to the doctor. They give you more medication for the side effects, and your pile of pills gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and I think it all goes back to the pharmaceutical companies. You know, they're powerhouses. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of power. And I think they kind of control the medical community to a certain degree. And it's sad, but in a capitalistic society, things like that are going to happen. If you let capitalism run out, you know, it's always going to be an issue like that.
Right.
So you had mentioned that, you know, a lot of things stem from the gut. And I can tell you from personal experience, years ago, I had gastro problems pretty bad, but I wasn't the type of person where I ate breakfast and I didn't take vitamins.
Right.
And I started eating a pretty good breakfast every day and just taking a multivitamin, and just that alone straightened it out.
Right.
Did a whole lot for me anyway.
Right.
And I felt better ever since, and I swear by the vitamins. And they're just off the shelf. I think Centrum or something. I don't have the bottle with me.
Which are not good.
Like really?
But if you're not doing anything, if you're not doing anything, something is better than nothing. So when I'm working with people, I don't believe in having people leave with a whole big bag of vitamins, herbs, whatever it happens to be, because they're going to leave the store and it's just overwhelming, and then they're not going to do anything. I'd rather somebody make a commitment to themselves, to their husband, to whoever they need support from, and leave with just as much of the minimal that they need, and then work on that. And they have to make a commitment to work on it for 90 days. You know, give it. Natural products take a little time. Sometimes they work quickly. Sometimes they take up to 90 days. And if you don't see the result you want after the 90 days, then let's try something else.
Yeah, I know that certain diets, like the paleo diet, actually takes like 90 days before you have gotten all the toxins out and you're doing better.
Right.
So let's talk about the ionic foot bath a little bit, because I'm really interested in that. I mean, it's almost kind of spooky, but it just almost makes sense how the thing works. So from what I've read, what happens is it positively charges the hydrogen in the water, which attracts the negative ions and also the negative toxins within your body. And it's like a magnet. It just draws it out through the bottom of your feet.
Right.
So why feet? Why not hands or, elbows?
Yeah, actually, you can do the whole body if you can figure out a way to get the device to sit up out of the water. You don't want it in the water because it's powered by electricity.
Yeah.
But we've actually had some customers feel like they need more. So we've set up 2 detox units for them and put a bucket, so to speak, on their lap. And they do their hands and their feet.
Wow.
It's very interesting. I've seen different structures actually be built out of the toxins that come out of the hands and the feet. Like it'll have like a wall of foam. I've seen that several times. It doesn't happen often. But
Seems painful almost.
I know, but it's bound to make them feel better.
Sure.
So, but the feet, the reason for the feet is because that's where our largest pores are. So anything you put
Oh,
on
I
your
didn't know
feet
that.
is drawn up into your body. Like essential oils, you can put those on your feet and you can feel it almost immediately. You can taste it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like when people have like cramps or things like that, leg cramps, you can put like magnesium gel or magnesium oil on your feet and it just draws up into your body through your bloodstream and you can feel it immediately.
Okay.
So
And see, I thought maybe it went back to Chinese medicine because I know the Chinese believe that there's a point on the bottom of your foot that corresponds to every point in your body.
right.
And
there
I
is.
thought it had a whole lot to do with that.
Well, that probably is part of it, but you're not applying pressure points. You're just allowing the flow of the negative ions to go
Wow.
into your feet.
And so I would assume that it's something that doesn't work completely the first time, that you have to go through a series of,
Right.
yeah, you can't
Yeah.
just do it once and, hey, I'm free of all toxins.
Right.
And
No, I have
good
seen
now.
people come in and one time be free of pain. I've seen one particular customer, she's been like a forever customer.
Mm-hmm.
She's, over the years, has talked about she was going to come do a foot detox. And one time, maybe a couple months ago now, she decided she was going to.
Mm-hmm.
And she sat on the couch. We have a couch back there. And so she sat on the couch. I literally watched her body just change, like she relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see like one shoulder, the other shoulder, her body, and then she got the smile on her face. And when she got done, she said like she was floating on air. And then when she left, she actually was smiling. And
Wow.
it's so neat to see what happens because everybody's so different. And so that was huge, and it made her a believer.
And so what about, like, let's say chemo patients? So should a chemo patient do it?
Not on the days of chemo, because those are chemicals that need to stay in your body to do their work.
Right.
So when somebody comes to do a foot detox, we have to ask them certain questions, like you can't be pregnant, you have to have all your own body parts, so to speak.
So, like, I probably wouldn't qualify because I have a metal implant in my elbow.
Well, no, that's not the problem. It's just if you have organ transplants.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
part of your body. It's
Oh,
just,
wow. Yeah.
You've got a little extra there. But you can't have sores on your feet, certainly, because you're
That makes
drawing
sense.
toxins out. So, and pacemakers, any kind of electrical in your body, because you're using electricity
Right.
is the source to draw it out. So,
Yeah, I think it's referred to as bioelectric medicine. It's cool.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be an electric charge in a human to get a human to work.
right.
I don't know if it's measurable or not. Maybe it is. Maybe I
Right.
should have looked at that, but I didn't. But it does make sense that it would work and at least be beneficial.
So what we tell people, because this is what's recommended, so you can stretch it a little bit, make it be your own, but it's supposed to be twice a week. Well, every other day is the most you're supposed to do it, up to 35 minutes. And when people first start doing it, if they can afford it, then twice a week for 10 sessions. And then after that, you do it like a maintenance. That's just the beginning, really. It depends on what's going on in your body. But to
Right.
encourage people to do that, we actually have a punch card, and after 10 visits, you get a free one.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that kind of gets people coming in.
Sure.
And we have people that come and do it like dates.
Yeah.
A couple will come in, families will come in. I had a little girl that was 2, and she was born to, her mama was a drug addict. So she came into the world full of yeast. And
Wow.
her adoptive parent brought her in. And I don't normally treat kids that young, but I told her, I'm not liable for anything, and you're going to keep her on your lap. And we rigged it up so where she could do it. It was amazing. It was like immediately the whole top of the water was a white foam, and that is yeast. But it was so fast with her. And the other thing, she did not drink water, did not like water. A lot of people don't like water.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when we do the foot detox, we encourage people, we offer them, we do a eye water is what it's called. But in that eye water, we put a liquid chlorophyll. And we do the liquid chlorophyll, and it has spearmint oil in it. So that's what you taste. And so I gave it to Mama to give to a little girl, and she drank like 5 glasses of it. She loved it. So when they left the store, they bought bottles of the liquid chlorophyll. We can't even keep that in the store because people see such a benefit from just that.
What does chlorophyll do?
It helps to cleanse your blood. It deodorizes your body, so every place that's stinky gets better later on. It takes a little time. But and then it helps gives you energy. It can help with weight loss. It just does a lot.
Wow.
It's just a form of your greens, which help to benefit your body. So it helps to alkalinize your body too.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, chlorophyll. Oh.
So when we do a foot detox, we give people the water. We give them a choice of room temperature water or, cold water. And
What do most people pick? Because I'm a room temperature guy.
Most people pick cold water.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, room temperature is better. Your body doesn't have to adjust it.
Right.
Just can benefit from the water. But to talk about our water just a little bit, it's a product. I use a product that's from Gia Wellness.
Okay.
And it's called iWater. And what it is, this is my bottle. So let me see.
Yeah, if you just hold it up, I'm sure the camera will catch it. Yeah.
So this is my iWater bottle.
Okay.
And so when you purchase their unit, you get a bottle and you get all kinds of stuff. But I have 2 of the units in the store because in the beginning of my store, I was giving the water away. So I checked all over Cleveland for water that had a good pH already. Very hard to find. But what I found...
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah.
So what I did find was, and this is what we use, is crystal geyser water. And I checked the pH level of it periodically, and it stayed good. So it's like a 6.8.
Okay.
Which is good.
Yeah,
okay,
7.2 is neutral, correct? Yeah.
So really, that's really too high. That's still too alkaline.
Really?
I mean, if you did that all the time, you could have some problems. But they say from my studies, it's 6.4 to 6.8 is a proper pH.
Wow.
So anyway, so the water starts out with a proper pH. So the unit doesn't change the pH level. What it does, it modifies the water molecule so it becomes single file. So it gets to the cell. So when I muscle test people for hydration, you just touch the nose, do their arm, and their arm falls. I just give them just a little bit of the water. That fast, they have the strength so that it helps to hydrate their body. So we now sell the water because it was like a job in itself to prepare water for people to give it away.
Sure.
And I was doing that. And I can't tell you how many people ran in the store with they'd bring back their water, their jugs. Well, they didn't have to do that. But anyway, finally I told the Lord, I said, this is a job in itself. So I got the okay to start selling it. And actually I had 2 customers the same day that actually set the price for the water. So...
Well, that's cool.
Now we sell the water.
Yeah.
And I have 2 units that help process a gallon at a time. So.
Oh, how long does it take to process a gallon?
It's 30 minutes.
Really, 30 minutes? Wow.
Yeah.
And so, what does it do again? You said it changes the chemical composition.
It modifies it makes the water molecule become single file, which means that it can penetrate the cell so that you get hydration.
Okay.
So, like at my home, this is really the only water we drink, and I have a new grandbaby, and that is the only water they use.
So the oxygen molecules, as opposed to being parallel,
it's the water, yeah.
And
right.
Wow.
Yeah, it becomes single file.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of information on the Gia Wellness website.
I wonder, and this is probably a stupid question, but I wonder if it's heavier than per gallon.
I don't know. I've never weighed it. I don't really know.
Because I know that standard water is 8.8 pounds per gallon. And I wonder if because the molecule, but then again, it's the same molecules, they're just in a different format.
Right. It's just to help it get to the...
Dang it, now I'm going to have to look all that up.
Okay, you do that and let me know.
I will.
But that's a whole big deal, is the water. And the water, when people purchase it, I let them know to drink about 8 ounces for the first 3 days because it can help your body detox.
Okay.
So that's what people do. But you can put it in spray bottles, and when you purchase a unit, that's what they do. They give you different size spray bottles. You literally spray it on your face, and you can watch the wrinkles go away. It takes a little while, like about 6 weeks.
You probably don't have enough water to do my work.
But, when you hydrate, because we are 80% water.
Right.
So if we hydrate, then we have less wrinkles. We feel better. Our brain functions because it's supplied with the water. And when people have trouble going to the bathroom, usually it's because your body says, hey, you don't have enough water, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
So then you struggle to go to the bathroom.
Well, that makes sense.
So, yeah, it happens all the time. migraines, lack of water. So that's one of the first questions I ask people when they come in the store with certain problems. How much water do you drink?
Yeah.
And the other thing we ask is, have you pooped today?
Well,
because that's important.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, you got to have regulation, and
right.
whatever goes in's got to come back out. So
yeah,
because that'll create toxins on its own.
Right.
Wow. So I guess a lot of the holistic approach is looking at the level of toxins, the pH, and of course water intake. What about food? Because we live in a society now where food isn't the food that I had when I was a kid.
Right.
I was thinking about that a lot actually the other day. I was thinking about, my parents used to cook, and they had to actually cook food. They didn't get it out of a box and pour it in and mix it up and it became potatoes.
Right.
If we had potatoes, my dad would peel them and chop them up, and we'd boil them, and we had potatoes that way.
Plus, you had nutrients in the soil.
Right.
And we don't.
And today we're a fast food society too. And I thought it was interesting after the freeze, when a lot of people had power outages and things like that, they couldn't eat because they didn't either know how to cook or just didn't do it, and all they ever ate was fast food. So what do you do for the guy that comes in or the girl that comes in and they have a 40% fast food diet? I mean, that's got to be bad.
Right. Well, we talk to people about their lifestyle, and that's that. What you eat, what you drink, what you breathe, how you sleep.
Okay.
Your water. Those are the main things. And if you think about whatever you put in your mouth, you want to give your body something that it can use. Why eat? Okay? So one of the things that you have to do when you do eat the food that you cook, when you cook your food, you kill all the enzymes in it. If you eat raw food, there are enzymes to help it break down the content of the food. But your stomach, your body has enzymes to a certain point, especially when you're young. So when you think about eating, you start getting saliva in your mouth. That's the beginning of digestion. Okay?
Okay.
So when you put something in your mouth, you've got saliva there to help try to soften it up and whatever. You're supposed to be chewing with it, not just gobble it and swallow. Most people don't do that. But as it goes down, you need to have the food enzymes to meet that food to break it down. So that's one of the things that to me is important for people to take is a digestive food enzyme. And they break down the carbs, the fats, the proteins, all of that.
And that's a supplement, I assume. Is there a certain type that you recommend?
Well, I love, I almost said Enzymatica. What is it called? It is Enzymatica.
Okay.
Anyway, they do a whole line of digestive enzymes. And they have, there's 3 basic ones, and they have it where it has a probiotic in it too. So that's like a twofer for people, so they don't have to buy 2 different products. You get it all at one time. Yeah. So. And
is that in a pill form or a powder?
No, it's a capsule.
It's a capsule?
Yeah, it's a
Pop
capsule.
one, you're good for the day, I guess.
No. It goes with the meal.
Oh, okay.
So what I suggest is at least your 2 largest meals. And if you don't have a gallbladder, you better be taking an enzyme, because your gallbladder helps to break down the fats in your body. It does other things, but it helps to break down the fats in your body. So when people don't have a gallbladder, they tend to get other illnesses that, are just feel rotten, because God gave us all our parts for a reason.
Right.
And I understand sometimes they get blown up or blown out or whatever it is, and you have to remove a dead something. But anyway, enzymes are very important, because that way your body can, the reason why you eat is to help your body be healthy. So if your body doesn't break it down, if your body doesn't break it down, your body can't use it. And so it gets stored as junk. And that's what begins the process of all the gut issues. And
do you think that also is probably the big hand in our obesity problem?
It could be, yeah.
Because, Americans are obese. Just by the state of how we live, we're an obese society.
Right.
And I've always wondered what contributes most to that. Is it fast food? Is it our lifestyle? Is it the fact that people sit and watch TV 4 hours a day? What really is it?
Well,
and maybe all of those are contributing factors.
Right. All of that is your lifestyle. So if you sit down and you write out the things that you do, the things you eat, the way you sleep, things like that, you'll see a picture of what's going on in your own life. And then you just pick one place to start. You can't bite off the whole, eat the whole apple at one time.
Yeah,
Take it's one
put
bite.
yourself in shock.
Yeah. So you figure out something you can do and focus on that till you get that down, because it takes I think it's 21 days or so to break a habit. So you have to begin somewhere.
Right.
So when I put somebody on a program, I find the weak point and build up the weak point with supplements or with the way they're going to eat or what they're going to drink, whatever it is we come to, agreement to do.
Right.
And then from there, it builds up the rest of the body. So the individual has to think about what they really do. And right now, people are, I don't know, I guess because of the junk going on, or has been going on, people have become so sedentary. And they don't,
Well, it's the convenience of life. I mean, we've created enough items and things that keep us mentally busy that,
Right.
we don't need to move around too much anymore.
Yeah, and that's so not healthy.
Right.
So then you're struggling. And I see so many young people, and I'm not talking about just kids, I'm talking about teenagers, young adults that are very obese, like you say.
Right.
And I'm thinking, it breaks my heart because later in life, they're going to be dealing with a lot of health issues if they don't change something. So when people come to me in the store, we always say either you can be proactive or reactive. So if you're proactive, you're doing something to help build up your immune system, number one, and your gut. That's where it stems from. So you're trying to build it up, and you do that. You do whatever is healthy, and even you can figure out what's good for you yourself. Just
Sure.
listen to your body. Okay, so you can either be proactive or later in life you're going to be reactive, and it's a lot harder to get on top of what's going on.
Yeah, it sure can be. That's for sure.
And I love to work with families because if you get the kids, the parents are on board, and then they're working with the kids, so they get the kids used to this is a normal thing. So as they grow up, then that's normal for them. So then hopefully they have a healthy life, and they start young. And when I work with families, what I find out is a lot of times they can use the same products. And, men and women are so different, but
Right.
you have to do some things different. But there are a lot of things they can take as a family. So it's not like they have to have this for Jenny and this for Joe and this for so-and-so, Try to do it as a family. So I love to do that. That's one of my favorite things because I love to watch people decide to work and do it together as a team,
Right.
so to speak.
So, and I like all this. The holistic approach then is not only but the inner body and the physicality, but also spiritually as well. And I know me and you've had some minor discussions about your faith and about your practice.
Right.
So I wanted to touch upon that a little bit more because I think it's really, really important. Because I believe that a lot of things start up here, and if you're going to recover from something and you don't think you're going to recover from something, you've already kind of lost the battle.
Right.
So if it all starts in your mind, and your mind is a component of your soul, if you're willing to go there with me, then, let's talk about how big of a role, God, faith, and all that plays in overall health and your practice,
Right.
and the things that you do and the things that you try to teach people. And what I'm hearing you say a lot is, without saying it, is it all boils down to education. You're re-educating people
Right.
on how to live kind of the old way that we used to before all
Right.
this modern technology came about and before fast food and everything else, when we had better diets and we were all active because we had to be.
Right.
So, yeah, let's talk about faith a little bit. How, on a scale from 1 to 10, let's say, how big do you think faith is and plays a role in your ability to heal, self-heal?
Right. To me, it's a 10.
Yeah.
I'm all about God. He put me where I am. He's given me the gifts to help people. That is one of my spiritual gifts, miracles and healing, serving, and that's what I get to do every day.
Right.
So that's number 1 to number 10, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
But I know, because I trust God, and I know when people come into my store, I literally, in my heart, I'm asking God, how can I help this person? and I feel that he gives me the answers that I need to share with them. And I've gotten to pray with so many people that come in with different health issues, or people just come in and say, I need you to pray with me.
Right.
And I have the honor to do that. God uses me in that way. I see so much healing, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in every way. And people, there's some people that don't really believe in God, but I can see them kind of in the background listening, like if I'm praying for somebody or Jennifer's praying for somebody, I can see them in the background just listening. And I had one lady come up to me just the other day, and she says, I need you to pray for me. And she shared specifically what was going on with her. And so I prayed with her. And we had a couple come in the other day, and they said, what did you do? Because now we're pregnant.
Okay.
And I said, because we had literally just prayed for them. And this was a few months earlier. And I said, it's not what I did, it's what God did. He just uses me to do what he needs to do for you.
Right.
And so it was an emotional story that they shared. It was amazing, literally. The things they had been through, the things that had happened for both these, it was two young people that came together, and now they have a baby coming. And their baby's going to be born on my birthday. So that was a nice surprise.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's just God giving back to you too.
Yeah.
So.
God is everything.
That's great.
And I'm pleased and thankful to live in a country that we can put scriptures on my windows. Outside the store, we have scriptures that go across the windows. People know when they come in, they feel the presence of God. So when God gave me the vision in 2016 about my store, he also showed me my logo, and my logo is a lighthouse. So a lighthouse is a beacon to draw people to where God is for hope, health, and healing. And my goal is always that they do feel the presence of the Lord when they come there. And I can't tell you, there's so many stories about people, like, there's traffic and all of a sudden it opens and they come in the store. They say, I don't know how I got here. I've had people come in and say, I've passed the store, and they turn around, they said, okay, I'm here, but I don't know why I'm here. But then they find out why.
Sure.
Through just the visit. And, I believe in people, and I don't give up on people. It's been good and bad in my life, but right now it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always going to be that way, I guess.
Yeah.
The funny part I found is, and I know quite a few people who just really don't believe, but the interesting thing about it is you can't ever say that prayer is a negative thing. When there's something that's always positive about it, it can't be bad.
Right.
And so I think even if you're a non-believer, so to speak, you're still going to benefit from prayer. So you can't lose in that situation.
Right.
And I think that's just great.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that you believe is an awesome thing too, because you got to stand for something these days.
Well, what I do and what God's done through me healed me, because what I do saved my life. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do.
Okay, so don't leave me hanging on that one.
Okay.
I got to hear this.
So recently I did my testimony I go to Celebrate Recovery.
Okay.
And I did my testimony. So through that, God showed me from when I was 2 years old the responsibility I took on, and also the fear that I lived in from age 2.
Okay.
Until just recently, like this past maybe 7 months ago, my life changed. But God healed me of the fear to do this. And I was thinking about this just this very morning. Last month, I couldn't have done this because I lived in fear. But God's healed me of that. I can't tell you all the suicide attempts I've had throughout my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what type of fear? I mean, just general?
Well, there's a number of different kinds of fear. Physical. I mean, I've lived in very abusive relationships.
Okay.
And since I don't give up on people, I just stick it out. Because I was raised to think I wasn't important. And that's my opinion. That's what God showed me. And I lived in very dysfunctional families all my life.
Okay.
And I created a dysfunctional family, not knowing any different. And then finally God showed me, yes, you are important. You are a child of the Most High God. You are my daughter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I began to trust God truly with everything in me, he changed my heart to where I don't live in fear anymore. I'm not, I have to try to, my next thing to go is to fly on an airplane.
Oh, boy.
Because I feared that, but
you don't want to go with me because I'm paranoid of planes. Yeah.
But
every time I have to fly, I'm like, I start getting butterflies the day before, the day of, I'm sick. And I don't know why, I start thinking, maybe in my past life I crashed, So
I'm going to conquer that too.
Yeah.
But truly, I've been asked to do different interviews and go before groups and teach people and things like that. And I thought, I can't do it. Or I'll go through a period where I think I can, and that's like Satan just takes me right out.
Public speaking's tough, man.
Yeah.
It is, So I had a fear of public speaking a long, long time ago, and finally one day I woke up and said, you know what? I really don't care what people think, and I'm just going to get out there and do what I do. And some people like it, some won't.
Right.
Can't please everybody.
Right.
And this is something that I really enjoy doing, so this is why I do it.
Right.
We don't make any money doing podcasts or anything like that, but I think it's important because we get stories out to people and information that's, I think, like today, for instance. Right. Holistic medicine is something not everybody thinks of.
Right.
And it seems really, really important, because, why live sick all the time? Especially if you can simply fix it by just going and having a few conversations, a couple of detoxes, maybe you feel better, and then moving forward from there. Like you said, in 21 days or X number of months, you're great.
Right.
Why not do that if you can?
The thing is, once you get great, you have to keep doing whatever,
maintenance
something.
is a tough part.
Because I have people come back to the store while I was feeling great, and I quit doing that. I said, why would you do that? And modify it a little bit.
Right, and the thing is because of the way that our life is geared in America these days, and I hate to say this because it just sounds terrible, but basically we're cyborgs already because we're attached to our phones, we're attached to our computers, we have electronics in our car. Everywhere you go, you're connected in one way, shape, or form. Leads to a sedentary lifestyle, and before you know it, you fall back into that loop again because everyone else is there.
Right.
So I would say it's hard to maintain. It's something you got to get up every morning and say, okay, today I'm going to exercise a little. Today I'm going to eat right. Today I'm going to take my supplements. I can see how that would be tough.
Well, just getting out of bed and just sit there for a minute and think, okay, do I want to feel good today?
Yeah.
There
you go.
So what can I do to feel good? Who wants to feel bad, really?
Yeah.
People get in that spot, and it is truly hard to get out of. My family's dealt with a lot of depression, and I used to think before I went through a depression, why can't they just get up and do it? Why can't they just shake it off? Why can't
Tough. It's tough.
It is. And until you experience it, then you realize how tough it is.
Yeah, I've been through some pretty dark periods myself. I've had some bouts with depression that were that I thought were inescapable.
Right.
But fortunately, I was able to work past it and go forward. And I think, as you get older, and I'm not going to say how old I am, but as you get older, it's not that you start to care less. It's just that you start to take the things that used to bother you so much when you were younger, and they don't seem as important anymore.
Right.
And now it's like relationships are important, and that you've met the goals that you had for your life. Those things are important.
Your priorities.
Your priorities, your health is important.
Yes.
Right. Your priorities change.
Yeah.
And I think that helps a lot with depression, and maybe that's why you see it a lot in younger people than you do in older people.
With the COVID stuff, I saw so many teenagers,
COVID's
especially
rough.
Girls, come into the store needing something for anxiety. We sold out of everything we had that was for anxiety. These were kids.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, at least business is good, though. So, because I would assume that maybe COVID would have hurt you guys a lot.
No,
because
we were
you have
able
a personal.
To stay open.
Really? That's good.
We were essential. And the name of the store is Health Essentials Wellness Center. So, truly, we are essential.
Yeah.
And so God was good.
So one thing I was curious about, and I did see, I think, one CBD product in your store. I'm not really too familiar with what it was. I didn't take a long time to look at it.
Right.
But I know that it's something that's real popular these days as a whole line of CBD. So where are you at with CBDs? Do you believe they to be a good thing, a bad thing, or people just looking to get high? And what's the deal with CBDs?
Okay. I only carry like 2 different ones. I carry two different brands. I don't believe in confusion for people.
Okay.
So I bring in what repeatedly people come in and buy, and they come in and tell me how it helped. And then recently I had injured my shoulder, so I've been taking a CB product too.
Okay.
If you take too much, yes, you get a little high.
Yeah.
But I know where that stops now.
Where the threshold is?
Yeah. Ooh. But anyway, but it helped. It helped. So I have some topicals that work very well. My very favorite is it's a muscle spray.
Okay.
I like it because in the bottle there's 600 servings. And so you can spray it anywhere. You can spray it yourself. That's what I like about it. You don't have to ask somebody to rub something on your back or whatever. I have one that has a lot of different essential oils, and that's really good for the skin.
Okay.
And I have a lot of men that come in that have skin issues, like the tears on the skin and just,
Right.
the surface type stuff that they get. Come in and buy that, and a lot of older ladies and men come in and buy that. That works well. I have.
So it's not just a younger group going after
No,
the
it's
CBDs,
everybody.
but it's everyone.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
But
that's good.
I
Yeah.
always tell everybody that it can contain the federal legal limit.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I have a soft gel, I have the oil, and then I have the topicals. 1, 2, I think 3 topicals. But I know my son got pulled over one time, and the one of the topicals that has the essential oils, the cop actually said, "This, if it's got THC in it, then it's a felony."
Wow.
For him. So
Yeah.
it scared him. And anyway, he went to his car and tested it and came back and said, "You're good."
Oh, wow.
My son says, "My mom wouldn't give me something like
Yeah.
this. She has a store." And I thought, well, okay, so there you go. But anyway,
Yeah.
so there's that. But I want people to know, I mean, they have to take care of whatever they got to take care of. And, I understand why some people want to do it, but they can't because of that, possibility of the THC, the small amount that might be in it.
Wow.
And they say there's products out there that don't have any. I don't know. I just know that what I have in the store I trust, and I just share what I know about it.
Okay.
So, and it's their responsibility.
Yeah, I know a lot of research is still being done. I found out that the government has multiple patents on
Right.
a lot of cannabinol products.
Right.
And then I think Merck, I'm not sure which drug manufacturer it was, had like 117 different patents on compounds for, I was like, wow. And I don't know if they're doing anything with that at this point, but I think they're eventually going to. Because some of them even do contain THC.
Right.
So I was
Right.
like, wow, that's crazy.
Well, and they can consider those like maybe therapeutic or something like that. I'm not sure. But our bodies have it. I may mess up the way you say it, but an endocannabinoid system.
Right.
So that helps to fight off pain. It helps to fight off anxiety. So the CBD helps with those, pain especially, anxiety, sleep, weight loss. I mean, there's a lot of things that it does, so you have to find what works for you and what your employer is okay about.
Right.
You know.
So what type of things do you carry for anxiety? Because you said you had sold out a bunch of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have a product that's by Europharma, and it is called Anxiocalm.
Okay.
That's like number 1. A couple of years my sister died, and I knew she was going to die before I went to where she was. And so I went and got the big box and took it with me. And as it was, everybody that was in my sister's hospital room got sick except for me. So I was taking care of my other sisters and taking the Anxiocalm myself.
Okay.
So I know it works. And so we sell it also in like some small packages, like it's $1.49 for just testing packages.
Okay.
And then there's bigger ones, but that's by far number 1. I'm trying to think. We have some other things by like Natural Factors, that helps with anxiety. But to me, the Anxiocalm is the best.
Cool. And is it also a capsule as well? So pretty
No,
much.
no, it's not a capsule.
Oh,
It's a
not?
small. It's a small tablet. It's real easy to take, and you
Okay.
take 2 as the dosage. You can take it as needed. It's very fast acting. Within about 15 minutes, you feel a difference. It doesn't knock you out. It just kind of takes the edge off.
Okay.
So you can breathe again. And
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And no adverse side effects or anything like that?
Nobody said anything, and that's what
Wow.
the teenage girls were coming in and getting, all those little single packs.
Yeah.
They were wiping us out of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know you have a lot of products in your store. It's got to be tough to keep up with all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and you've been open 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm on my 4th year.
Wow, that's great.
So, yeah.
And you told me you were getting a machine that your whole body fits in. And let's talk about that. What is that exactly?
Okay. It's a sauna, and it's a portable sauna. So your head sticks out. It's got a place for your arms to get out if you get kind of claustrophobic. You can look at your phone if you have to or whatever.
Right.
But you just can enjoy the heat that's in there. It's an infrared heat. So when you sit in it, there's 2 little kind of like a coffee can sort of that sits up in the corner. That's where you put your feet on that, and it gets warm in there. Within 10 minutes, that's when you really begin to sweat.
Okay.
So we just do, well, we don't do it yet. We're getting it, but anyway, it'll be 10-minute sessions.
Okay.
If you want more than 10 minutes, you got to buy your own unit because you're going to be really soaking.
Right.
But it helps with it helps to detox. It helps with pain. It helps with weight loss, of course. Those are the top things that comes to my mind.
Well, now that you said it's infrared, I'm familiar with those because my wife is on the ESD7 board, the fire department.
Oh, okay.
And through some research, I guess, the fire guys decided, excuse me, that they were going to buy an infrared sauna because after they go and fight a fire, their bodies are full of toxins after breathing all that smoke and everything else. And so, and their insurance company paid for this device, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, that's saying a lot. And they said that they swear by it. If they go fight a fire, I mean, those guys line up to go get in that thing.
Right.
And that way they can get all those toxins out of their body. So, yeah, that seems like a pretty good deal.
So, something to think about. Your skin is your largest eliminative organ.
Eliminative organ.
Getting everything out. Right. Your feet have the largest pores. Your body, your skin, just your skin, is an eliminative organ. So sweating, that's good. People think they need to put deodorant on and all that's antiperspirant, I think it is.
Right.
You don't need that because you don't want to block the pores. You want to sweat. You want to get it out. You get bacteria out. The smell is the bacteria.
Right.
So once you get past getting the junk out, the bacteria out, then your body doesn't stink.
Interesting.
It's going to still be wet, but wet is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wet
So
is good.
just, and that brings up, I read in some of the research that the ionic foot baths actually will get aluminum. I think aluminum levels drop by like 46% over a period of 12 weeks or 12 sessions.
Okay.
46%. And aluminum is the main component in deodorant. So, yeah.
Which we have good deodorant too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Natural deodorants, I guess. So what do you have?
Yeah. My favorite is called, it's THAI. There's a spray, a crystal, and a roll-on. I love the spray. My son sweats profusely. And
Teenager?
No. Well, it used to be. He's a grown man now. But anyway, still, he sweats.
Yeah.
But that's the only deodorant he's ever come across that actually does the job.
Wow.
And we sell lots of the spray especially. The crystal lasts forever. It's like you break it before you use it all up. You drop it and break the crystal. So some people love that. And but that's like number one, really. I have some other roll-ons that are different. Like I have an aloe, and then I have a natural. I can't remember. There's 3 of them. I don't remember what the other one is.
And I guess none of them contain aluminum.
None of them do.
I probably have enough aluminum in my body to build a whole building out of it.
Which is that's one of the things that's my understanding anyway, that causes the dementia.
Yeah, dementia and Alzheimer's, which is interesting because my mom and my dad both heavy deodorant users too, and both of them passed from.
Yeah,
from
my
that,
mom
so.
too. My mom very early, and it was within 2 years she was gone.
Yeah, once my mom got diagnosed, it was pretty quick after that, which was surprising. But she also took Aricept, and I think that Aricept, it was supposed to slow it down, but I think it actually increased it somehow.
But like what I saw with my mom is she just literally gave up on life. It's like the times that she was lucid and she knew who we were and things like that. It's like she let us know that she did not want to live like this. She stopped taking her medicine. She just... And then she would have times she'd literally like a crazy person, hallucinating and things like that. So when I was going to college, I took some psychology classes, and they literally said that you do hallucinate. when you have Alzheimer's. And I didn't know that till I took that class, and I literally saw my mom just like rip off her clothing and rip off everything and be screaming like a crazy person.
Wow.
Because she was seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand it till I studied it.
Right.
And it's just incredible.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you see people, like some people come in the store and they're in that kind of condition, it's like they're not there. They just are.
Yeah, you can see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can tell that they're in a fog. I mean, that's
Right.
how it was with my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad for the caretakers because the caretakers are so focused on taking care of that individual,
Right.
they don't take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell moms especially, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be here to take care of your kids. So
Wow.
we got to take care of ourselves first, and that is not being selfish.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely
not
not. I
being
mean, if you're not
selfish.
here, you can't take care of anybody else. So
Right.
that makes
right.
sense.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll tell you what, I don't have the address to your store. Can you go ahead and let everybody know?
It's 1503 East Houston Street, and it's Suite B, in Cleveland, Texas 77327.
Okay.
We're
And
next.
hours of operation?
Oh, okay. From 8:30 to 6 Monday through Thursday, and then 8:30 to 5 on Friday, and then Saturday we're open from 9 to 1.
Okay, great.
So,
And the foot detox is a big deal. And I guess that's hot water, huh?
no,
no,
it's room temperature. It's whatever they want.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
So just a relaxing thing. Just
right. I can't
dunk
tell
them
you.
in, kick back for 30 minutes.
People come back there, they fall asleep. I've seen people snoring. I've seen
Yeah.
people just can't get up off the couch after they do the foot detox because they're so rested and they don't want to leave. A lot of things
great.
happen in our back room.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's good. I love
Okay.
to see what God does, and then when people come back and tell us what has happened and things like that, it blesses me.
That's good.
So yeah, it's good.
Well, Alice, I really appreciate you coming on the show. And it was a good time, and I think we had a good talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a bit of a technical problem. It seems like my camera stopped recording about midway. And I'm sorry about that, folks. I'm also sorry about that, Alice. But that's okay. We got you now. Anyway, so in closing out, if you've subscribed to the channel in the past month, man, I really appreciate it. We're just about at 200 subscribers, and that was the goal. So we're right around the corner from that. And I just can't say enough good things about the people who've been watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and give it a shot. See what happens. If you saw something that you liked today, go ahead and hit that like button. And let's leave Alice here some pretty nice comments. She was nice enough to come talk to us about holistic medicine. And I'm just glad we got to spend some time with her. Anyway, Alice, thanks again. And appreciate you coming. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And for right now, I'll be out. Bye-bye.